Almost exactly 2 years ago, I stopped using iOS for good, as the recent updates in the iOS software changed my mind about iOS. Let's find out.
Cause virtual is where we live. Cause virtual is where we live. Cause virtual is where we live.
What's up, YouTube? This is Paul from Mickey Tech Tips. About a month ago, I switched to an iPad Mini 2. If you know my opinion on Apple, you're probably thinking, what? I bought an iOS device? Yes, I did. And I do have to say I'm sort of impressed since iOS 6, because my iPod Touch 4, which I no longer have, only went up to that because I never bought another one because I had an Android phone and then an Android tablet later on. So, today I'll be covering a few different categories, stuff like software, which include things like apps and iOS in general. I'll also cover hardware and just basically the overall design. Okay, so let's move on to the software part of this review, because that's the major part about any device. Does it have good operating system? Does it have good apps? And personally, I like the new design of iOS 7 and iOS 8. Apple needed that design for a long time, and that's one of the reasons why I never really bought another iOS device when iOS 6 was still mainstream, because I knew that my iPod Touch 4 was going to probably be discontinued when iOS 7 came out. And I didn't care because I had my Android phone and my Android tablet and had such a great experience on them, so I never messed with it. So it does look good, though. I gotta give them credit for that. Another thing is the App Store currently has 1.4 million apps, which makes it the second largest app market by apps available, which is like right behind Google Play. But Google Play has a lot of apps too that you can only use on Android that you can't use on Apple. So that still gives you a lot of apps, though, which brings up two cons. Apple App Store apps cost more money than Google Play apps because they have to charge developer fees, and they also have limitations on what they can do. So, as I was saying about the developer fees, they charge about, I forget how much it is, but they charge developers a fee each year to develop on Apple. Plus I think maybe even the Apple computer to do it, you have to have one of those to develop on it. And they also charge for the app too. So, like, for example, I don't know if Angry Birds is now free on Apple, but I remember for the longest time they were still charging 99 cents, which I could get it free on my Android device, but I couldn't on Apple. Which I think that's crap, because they still take the money from the 99 cents purchase anyway. And what I would have liked to seen is that you can just take and have a no developer fee and just have more free apps and just take the money from the app revenue from the ads, which that probably happens anyway. I wouldn't doubt it, but they were able to probably squeeze the money out of the apps whether they're free or not. So that's my first con about it. My second one is app limitations. So Apple does limit you on what you can do on each app, and they don't like what the app can do, they won't put it on the App Store. For example, the biggest one was emulators, which those are kind of banned right now anyway because people got mad at websites and lawsuits and stuff. So you can probably still find the apps on Android, but good luck finding the stuff to put inside the emulator. But stuff like that. The biggest one is like third-party app stores, not third-party app stores, third-party stores in general. So like if you have like an Amazon Kindle, and you take and put the Amazon Kindle app on your phone and whatnot, and you take and want to go buy something off the app, you cannot buy it on Apple. You have to go to like the website to buy a book, and then you're able to download it. Whereas on Android, you can go take and download the Kindle app and go buy a book directly from that app. Same thing with like Google Play Books and like Google Play Music, which ticked me off because if I wanted to go buy a new song, I had to pull out my phone and buy it from there. To go onto my iPad, then download it. Which I understand where they're coming from, but I still don't think it's right to take off third-party store access. Yeah. And there's other little things like on web browser and stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. Then another one is file management. So I wanted to transfer some of my music and documents over to my iPad by just using the Windows file system, not even messing with iTunes, because I hate messing with iTunes personally. So all you could do without iTunes was transfer pictures to my computer. And I ended up using Google Drive because iCloud Drive is a joke. And I could transfer everything to that, and then just clicking the keep offline switch worked. And thank goodness for Google Drive and like Google Play Music and stuff, because that's what helped make me enjoy the iPad, because I did not want to mess with Apple's stuff. And then if you did want to use it on a computer without iTunes, you can't do that anymore because they blocked a program called iExplorer, which allowed you to get into the iPad and look at all the different files and stuff. They blocked on a recent update. You know, eventually they might fix it, but as of right now, I think you have to have it jailbroken, which I don't want to mess with that because that can be a pain too. My last issue is that they don't have one app for all, which Android has it. I personally like it, but there are some devices that it don't work great on, because my first Android phone, I would download something like Temple Run. It would not run as good as maybe when I got a Android tablet or like my Moto X. It would not work as great. So there was some cons about the one app for all, but it'd work a lot better if they could just fix one size, because right now if I go use Instagram, it's either the iPhone size or I can make it almost full screen, because there's still a black box around it, but so it's not full screen, which is a lot better than what it used to be, because it used to look like crap once you blowed it up, but now it looks a lot better. So I gotta give them credit for that, but that's another con that I just don't really care for. So it does cost developers more time by having to develop an app for an iPhone and an iPad. But if they want to do it, they can do it, but I just don't get why they can't just have a one app for all, because all the software works the same, and just the different scaling of the device, because that'd be the only difference, because they control the hardware and the software and stuff. So, set aside those cons, I was able to enjoy the iPad while being productive on it. In fact, I wrote part of the script on that too, until I realized I hate typing on a screen, so that's when I went over to my computer and typed it. Which, that means I need to probably buy a wireless keyboard eventually. So yeah. So lastly, let's move on to hardware and design. So Apple makes everything work together, and it's got a constant design flow, so if you go from one iOS device to another, it'll look pretty much the same, except the few minor tweaks they've done over the years on screen size and all this other stuff. I even like the new Lightning connectors that they put on there a lot better than the 30-pin connectors, because they're small and durable, and they don't feel like they're going to break like micro USB. And the reason why Apple makes this stuff all constant, because they want you to have a great experience on whatever device you're using. And that ain't always the case for Android, because you could have one Android device and it'd be great, but then you could have another Android device and it'd be horrible, and I've experienced both. So I'm just going to say, don't buy cheap stuff, and if you do have to spend money on cheaper stuff, try to find something that's still supported on Apple, because it's better to be safe than sorry. For example, like the reason why I bought an iPad mini 2, because I could save about $100 by not buying that fingerprint scanner, because that was the only difference. Because I didn't need a fingerprint scanner to enjoy iOS, even though it would help with stuff like Apple Pay. I thought, nah, I don't need it. So I would say good job on design. I like Apple's design, and I've always have. I just not agreed with some of the practices, but other than that, it's just a really overall durable device. So my final thoughts on this is that Apple just needs to keep innovating, and as long as they keep doing that, I will always own at least one Apple device. In fact, right now, the iPad has been my main daily driver as a tablet, even after I was done writing up this review. And I will keep using it unless Android M wins me over iOS 9. But who knows what's going to happen with that. And maybe eventually I'll buy an iPhone, but right now I'm happy with my first gen Moto X. In fact, I might even just go get the next Moto X, because it does look really great. So eventually I do want to do a iOS 9 versus Android M versus Windows 10 review, but that'll be happening probably sometime this fall. with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, leave the world and bring your friends.